Good morning, everyone. Today we're doing another one in my little series about reasons why mums might give up breastfeeding before they're really ready to. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about frequent feeding. Now, it's not so much, there's nothing wrong with frequent feeding, and that's normal for your baby. But for you as the person doing the feeding, you just might find that kind of intense. So I thought we would talk a little bit today about what's normal. So for a newborn would normally feed somewhere between 8 and 12 times a day. They don't tend to feed by the clock. Sometimes they do, but that's really unusual. It's more likely that sometimes they'll feed closer together in the day and other times further apart. So 8 to 12 times is somewhere between every 2 or 3 hours, something like that. So another thing that's really useful to know is that sometimes they will have what we call cluster feeding. So that's an intense bout of feeding over perhaps several hours. And that commonly happens kind of in the evening. So starting about tea time, like 5-ish, 6-ish, and going on into the evening. And then if they do that, sometimes they will have a slightly better night. So the reason that they do that is because your milk is so flexible and so beautifully made that it's not the same all the time, and there's not the same amount of it all the time. So for most people, the most milk you're going to make is going to be between about 2 and 4 in the morning, and then it's going down naturally, and then to like a low point, maybe like 6 in the evening-ish, and then it's going up again to its peak at 2 and 4 in the morning. So often that stage of like where the milk is, there's less of it, might coincide with a stage where time of the day where maybe baby's a bit grumpy as well, and you're a bit tired. Fun times. So you might get a cluster feed where they seem to want to feed on and off for several hours. The bonus for that is that because there's not a lot of time between each feed, there tends to be higher fat in the milk. So if you hang on in there, often they will feed, but then they've got a tummy full of slightly higher fat milk. So then they sometimes sleep better. So another thing that would be normal would be days when they're having a growth spurt. So you may have had a rhythm with your baby where you're both fairly happy with how it's going every couple of hours, every 2-3 hours, and then suddenly they have 2 or 3 days where they just seem to want to feed all the time, and that's really normal. And they're just wanting to grow very quickly. They need more milk. Because they need more milk, they feed more. Because they feed more, you make more milk. So yeah, that gives you a bit of an idea what normal would look like for a breastfed baby. And catch me in my next video when I talk a little bit about how a top tip you might look at to support you with that.